Hi guys, in this video we're going to be adding an extra layer of complexity to our puzzle. So last time we had this puzzle that allows us to get to the sort of this NPC character and then press R because there was a whole thing about line trace working only for certain things and not working for this character. Which I figured out how to then change the visibility thing. We'll come to that. So anyway, we get this character on this platform, we press R to disable the character, and then we go and collect our prize. This is our level so far. So the very first thing to do is to unify how interaction happens. If we go to third-person character, you will find that we added an extra thing for input action interact with character. But what I wanted to do is to have all of interactions happen through just single trigger, which is just a single key like E, for example. And this uses the, what does it use? Get lock hit result function, which in turn uses line trace by channel. And that, if we go here and look at that character and press E, that thing doesn't work because it goes through. To fix that, you will need to go to AI character blueprint, select capsule component, and you will find the collision. You can change the collision presets to block all and then compile save. So now we should need to have the extra R key. We just can press E, and then you can see that the raycast, the line trace, is hitting the character, and we can do some stuff like before. And then we'll need to press E again to stop the character from doing anything else. And then we go and finish the level as before. So what I'd like to do now is add another one of these, Control C, Control V, and drag it over here. This is going to be another pressure plate. So how does it actually work? We can overlap, it sets the thing. Okay, so it's pretty simple. And this is the original one. So this prize is going to be dependent on this original pressure plate. Here, I want to add something like a room in which we're going to store the AI character. So we use the pressure plate to activate a door or something inside the room. And then we can get the character out of that room. Let's go to content, starter content. There might be something that we can use here, something like architecture. Yeah, let's try that one. And then like this wall. I need 400, 300, so not that wall, this one. Yeah, so just, you know, build a room or just something, just play around with it. Doesn't really matter how this goes. I just want to build a space that is closed off. So there will be a door or something. Is it too small for our character to fit in? Do we need to make this bigger? Scale this. Like that. Like this is definitely doable for our character. And then let's just scale the Z on this thing. I'll do. And then copy paste that to another sort of side like that. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, we can definitely go through here. And the walls are blocking our character good. So if I add another wall over here as a door, we won't be able to go through. So then we could add this pressure plate thing that is going to open the door. I'll just place it here. And in order to do that, we need to use our lamp, which spawns cubes from last time. So this is all coming together piece by piece. Let's take this, copy and paste again. And place it over here. And this is actually looking quite cool. You can't really see the opening anymore, so it's almost like non-existent. And we need to make sure that this thing, which we're going to turn into a blueprint by clicking the blue button, we want it placed inside content, third person PP blueprints. We're going to name it, I know, door or something. That will do for now. I'm not going to touch that just yet. And we want our AI character all the way over there. So we can only interact with the character once we're inside the room. And maybe rotate the character so the character faces this side. I'm just waiting to be freed, as it were. That'll do. I think that's right. I mean, there's kind of a flaw in terms of, like, you could spawn a cube here and then just, you know, just complete the level like that. Is it still E? Yeah, it is. And then press E to release, and then, you know, you can complete the level. So I'll let you figure out how you want to handle that. For now, I'm going to do something like this. So we're going to do this. This is going to trigger. It's going to open this thing. We're going to get to the character, make the character follow us, and then complete the level. And everything else is just details. So where's our door thing? That door needs to have its internal state from something. Begin play overlap, not interesting. Event tick, yeah, I guess we could use that. We need a variable to keep the pressure plate thing. Pressure plate. It's of type actor. Oh, I suppose it's of type pressure plate, really, so that we can access its internal state. Compile, save, select the door, select the default thing. Wait, what? Edit blueprint. It's got the variable in. Oh, it's not instance editable. Yeah, make it public. compile, save, go back, find the default section, and then select pressure plate 2, because the first one is over here, the original. This one's 2. Before I forget, I probably want to make this bigger, right? The navigation volume, the nav mesh thing. Is it big enough? I think so. I think we made it as big as this level, so actually it should be fine. Let's go back to the door. Pressure plate get is activated, is pressed. Yep, is pressed. And then based on that, how are we going to do this? Because when it's not pressed, it should stay where it is, the door. And when it is pressed, it should just go away to somewhere. It doesn't really matter where it's going to go. Yeah, let's try just to use absolute positions. So branch, the condition is pressed on the pressure plate. If it's true, then it is pressed, so we need to set location, set actor location to just somewhere that is not visible by the player. I know, put it through the ground or something. 500, doesn't matter. If false, however, we need precisely these coordinates: -940, 1050, 130. 940, 1050, 130, was it? Yeah. Compile, save, let's go back, and let's play. So it's there, that's a good sign. If I do this, it does nothing, which is a bad sign. Mobility, oh yeah, we need to make it movable. Save, play. How about this? Yeah, that's good. I can't go through still if this thing is not pressed. That's alright. Also, I think I've used Y value. Oh no, I actually used the Z value correctly. Incorrectly, because it's the other way around. It's -500 to put it through the ground. Compile, save. Save current level. Yeah, just save often. Make sure you don't lose anything. Now let's try to play through the normal sort of use case, as it were. So spawn this thing. Let it fall so you can actually collide with it. Do this. Release. Hey dude, follow us, will you? Here's an interesting thing, because the navigation thing isn't, the nav volume hasn't been updated because the thing is actually there. So I wonder if we should let it update by simply moving this thing off to the side. Yep, the built-in navigation thing is doing its thing. There's probably a way to build it at runtime, but this is an easy fix, because you know the wall will be placed there anyway because of this is pressed being false. Spawn, take, release, ask to follow. Nice. get over here. Oh, we need to actually click on them, right? Stand there. Where'd you go? Oh. What was that? I think I might have changed something with physics on this character. That's an interesting feature, or a bug, depending on how you look at it. Okay, if I wanted to do that, I would never be able to do that. That is pretty cool. That also means I can't complete the level. In a way that I wanted to complete the level, that is. Of course, you can spawn this thing, which you probably also want to fix, because it doesn't always fall down, which means you won't be able to collect it. You won't be able to grab it because the line trace goes from the center of our actor and then towards where the character is looking. Okay, so our base logic is kind of there. We just need to figure out how to fix these, how to tweak the stuff that we're working with. First of all, let's just fix this lamp thing. It's the easiest thing to do. Where's our lamp button? Spawn cube, which is a function that calls this, and then it takes the actor location, which is the lamp, forward vector, multiplies it by 50, and then adds this thing. How about we also add the x? Like this should do it, right? Because that's the forward vector, unless the forward vector is looking at a different direction. If I do 250, compile, save. That's much better. This is going to produce less, this is going to produce fewer bugs when the players will do this, for example. That's a common thing, like, because in most games you have this kind of gameplay-based mechanic, which may work in 99% of the cases, but if you have a large player base, that 1% will still occur. So we kind of need to think about beforehand about various edge cases that can happen. I'm much more happier with this approach because it spawns it kind of over here rather than on top of the lamp when it could get stuck. Okay, so we fixed the cube thing. Now, how do we fix the character? I think by changing its collision thing, we may have altered the physics properties. But what I'm thinking is it's just too close to the player, right? So maybe we'll make the character stop when they're in a range. That would solve our current issue. So if we go to AI character, what it's doing is every tick, it's checking if it's following, and then simple move to actor. Yeah, okay, cool. So we got is following as our driver. If we turn this off, the whole movement is turned off, which is good. So we just need a condition that is going to turn off the is following flag. That condition could be the distance between the thing that it's following, which we should have, which is target. Yep, good. So we move and then check. Yeah, how about that? And the good news is, once we've moved, once this thing worked, we know target is not null. So we can access it. branch, right? Because we need to check. So basically, an if statement. Distance between two vectors, distance between 2 points, rather, what we want. So we need to get, let's move it up a little bit. Let's add get actor location. Get actor location. So we get our location. And then we need to get this thing's location. We then check the distance. Distance. Yep. Distance between that and that. If the distance is less than or equal to, I guess, 250, then this is the condition to go over here, and if it's true, then we are going to set is following to false. Compile that, save that, play. Yep, that's not something that did not think through. Because when we're asking the thing to follow us, we are close to it. So it immediately goes into that branch and turns is following to false. Not great. So what can we do here? Let's go to our AI character and then check, is there something like a delay or something? Yeah, calling again while it is counting down will be ignored. Good, I think. Let's go 3 seconds. Stand right there. Stop now, stop. Now, I need you to go over here. Right, we need to figure out a way to stop the movement of the NPC character without needing to do the whole rotation thing and face him kind of thing. Alternatively, we don't turn off is following, we turn off is moving, which is, I think, even more sensible now that I think about it. So let's get rid of this thing. Let's add a new variable in here. Is moving. It's billion, is moving is true. Let's get it over here. into a branch. If true, then move. Is following goes in here then. So we first check if we should move. And then this thing decides to set is following to true or false, depending on this branch. In fact, we don't even need a branch, right? We can just set is moving. If it's less than that, then it's true. So do we need to flip this to not? Because we want to move if we are not less than 250. Yeah? And this works. If you want better user experience for the button thing, probably want to do something slightly more different than line trace. You might want to do a sphere collision. Wait, what? Something's off here. I'll just place it here for easier testing. AI character, so we move if we're following, yep. If we're moving, true, then go here. If it's false, don't. If it's false, go here immediately, right? Because we need to keep checking. Yeah, so this needs to be, this branch also needs to be covered. Press E, yep, collision happened. So it will now move. No, this is too close. Stop following me. Distance. If distance is less or equal to 400, then we need to how about we reverse this so that the logic is clearer? It's greater than or equal to 400. Then is moving should be set to true because we are far away. Else is moving is set to false. Oh, I think I know what's happening because this doesn't just move a single frame, it moves all the way towards the actor. I think that's what's happening. Is there a way to stop movement? That would be the thing to do once we've set it to false. Stop movement immediately. That is kind of what I'm trying to get to. Let's try that. In which case we do need a branch after that. And the branch is basically checking if is moving. If is not moving, then stop moving immediately. Compile, save, and play. Nice, finally. So simple move to actor will actually move and complete the movement over multiple frames. So now we have a character that will follow us until a certain distance, which is the distance that we currently set to 400. So this is 400 units, okay. In which case we're able to get the character to the point where we need them to be, and then we need to find a way to release the character, kind of saying, hey, stop moving, which is essentially like giving commands, I suppose, if you're planning a multiple squad type thing. So how do we issue commands to this thing? We can already command this character to continue to follow us, and I suppose we can bind the other key that we had, which is R, in our third person character, which was interact with character, which we no longer need because everything is done through this line trace. This thing is no longer pick up physics object. So let's change this to activate. And this works across things, which is good. It's reasonably generic. Now that we make something follow us, the thing I'm thinking about is the reference. Making that character follow us is easy, we've done that. But while doing that, we don't really retain the reference to that character. Alternatively, what we could do is some kind of a callback. We could say within AI character rather than third person character. We could say something like, when this thing happens and we're following somebody, and this is the target that we're following, we can check if the target is the player. And if it is, then let the player know that they've now got a character to control. In which case, pressing R would dismiss that character. How about that? So we've set the character is following. I suppose we're only interested if this thing is true. So let's add a branch. If true, then we're going to cast that thing to third person character. This thing goes in here actually, and this thing goes in here. And then that third person character we're going to assume that cast succeeded because that's the only actor that can activate our AI character. We can then add a variable to our third person character. That variable should be something like follower. How about that? That follower is of type AI character. Compile, save. That AI character can then set the follower set follower to us. Self, get a reference to self. Go over here and we are done. So from third person character now, we're able to access this reference, which is the follower, and we're able to ask them to stop following us at any time by just turning this off. Okay, yeah, that works, I think. So we no longer need this. Let's break the link here. You may wish to keep this if you want to do something with sphere collisions, sphere overlaps, but we are going to get our follower and then is following, set is following to false. That's the only thing we're going to do. Compile, save, and then let's try this. This thing starts moving, it stops at one point, and we want it to stop when we press R. Well, I did press R, but nothing changed. Oh yeah, again, back to the simple move to actor thing. We want it to stop moving. Yeah. It's fine. So AI character. We want to call this stop movement immediately, essentially. I think it would be just easier to have a function actually. Stop following. In which case we don't need to access the is following Boolean directly. Stop following is essentially going to turn off this thing, set it to false, and it's also going to call that. There we go. Compile, save this, go back to the third person character, don't call this anymore, call stop following, which will not only set the is following to false, but is also going to actually stop any kind of movement, which is what we want. Press R and just stops. This is the behavior that I need. Yep. And then we complete the level. And we also want to remove the flip-flop from the event graph when we click on use. So anytime we click on use, it should just be setting following to true. We never want to set following to false from here. So get rid of this thing. This thing goes over here. This thing is turned on. Goes to here. We no longer need the branch because we know it's always true. So just call this directly. Yeah. Compile, save. Yep, this should be a little bit nicer. Press E, press R to stop. Press E again to make this character move. Press R to stop. Yeah. almost. Yeah, that's better. Cool. We can now return the positions of everything back to normal. Place this over here. Save, play, and I think the level is done. Spawn this thing. Collect it. Drop it. Get this character all the way over here. Stop the character on that plate and complete the level. There we go. Right, so in this video we covered, well, nothing new per se, more just gameplay logic and seeing how things work out when you start combining these. We've created this well, room with no way to access, so we can get rid of the door by this pressure plate. We made sure the navigation volume covers the entire area so that our AI character can move. We then made a bunch of changes to how AI character movement logic is done by adding another field or variable, I suppose, is moving, so we are able to stop movement at any time. I find it quite useful actually, now that I think about it. So this stop movement function should have been there since the start. Because if you think about it, there are lots of use cases where you can make use of this stop following movement. For example, if you want your AI character to actually do anything AI related, like take cover, or if you want to add some behavior trees at this point. On that note, we've completed this, or I suppose we made this puzzle a little bit more interesting by adding a bunch of levels to it. And we'll see what we can do next time. Thanks for watching.